when it comes to creativity, the sky is the limit.
You're right. Samuel Ba, you used to be a teacher, but I believe you've now decided to at least shelve that title and maybe, rat like they call them. I don't want to use that word because I believe it's a bit demeaning also. But taking into account the transition that you went through, I believe it's like you're more used to standing in front of maybe students.
It has not been easy, of course. I'm a trained teacher, and having to leave the field and find yourself in a completely different profession. Of course, reporting or journalism is a very, very challenging, profession. And like my previous or my colleagues rightly said, it is challenging, it is interesting, but very, very educative. This is the place where, you don't specialize in one thing, unlike the teaching field, where I used to teach history, and that is what I have been doing for the past 4 or 5 years. Every day you come, you talk about battles, you talk about the River Gambia, you talk about this thing. But here is a different thing. Today you deal with a sick child, the next minute you are taking to cover an education program, the other day you are in agriculture, so you keep doing different things. So it's very, very challenging, it is educative, and I must say that slowly but surely we are definitely learning and we are really coping.
But I believe of late you've been going to the provinces, and there is this cousin of yours who was like audacious enough to confront me, to at least tell us that, or tell me that you are being overused and the like. Do you feel like that?
Yeah, thank you very much, Francis. Yes, because I remember, because Jamal is my senior here, and when we left college, of course, he joined the family before me. Okay? I used to tell him, because when he started reporting or when he joined the family, he was completely cut off from us. We hardly have, we hardly see him. So I remember at some point I used to tell him, Jamal, what sort of job do you do that you don't even have time for people nowadays? I wanted the type of job. I wish I find myself one day there. And honestly, that is exactly what I'm seeing. Like you said, my cousins have been confronting you to ask if, because honestly, it is a job that requires a lot of concentration, focus. Absolutely, because without this, you definitely won't live up to expectations.
You're right.
And that is why you definitely have very, very little time to spend with your family, and they definitely won't understand. Like when we were teachers, you close 2 o'clock and you spend the rest of the time with your family. But this time around, it's completely the opposite. Yeah. Honestly, that is the challenging part of it. But then it's very, very educative and interesting, and we are really learning. Every day we are learning, because people like me that were not used to, being hooked to the screen, we are forced to be hooked to the screens, these big time, TV channels, the CNN, the Al Jazeera's, and, and that is how we are developing ourselves, honestly.
You're right. I believe since you made mention of Jamal and the like, I believe it's like Balde was pushing you to maybe, at least, be more specific with regard to maybe his seniority and the like, or I believe it has to do with the fact that he jumped ship well before you did. He abandoned the teaching field well before you did. So I now have to ask Jamal to also talk to us a bit about, the year we are reviewing, or which we are about to say goodbye. And then maybe, if necessary, tell us maybe some of his most challenging experiences and the like.
And I believe that it's the support and encouragement that I have been getting from all of you here that's definitely making the job very interesting. And then I'm learning a lot from every individual who is part and parcel of the newsroom, who is part and parcel of the technical department, who is part and parcel of the camera department, and editors as well, and in management, of course. Sam has forgotten one thing. I didn't jump board first, but then I was also his senior at the college level. Okay, and then first I think I would, because I'm afraid time might be at premium, so what I'll be doing is to at least give you a little bit hint of my program, the program that I host here, that's Education Forum, because the first time I was giving the program I was kind of taken aback because the name that goes around that program, that's Education Forum. So if you're the one responsible for education, now people think a lot, people expect a lot from you, and they think, they'll think that you're supposed to be kind of a scholar yourself, you're supposed to be very scholastic. I was kind of a bit jittery, I was kind of very afraid to take up the responsibility. But thank God that I've got a lot of people around me who are giving me all the kind of encouragements that I need. And then the fact that I was also a teacher really played a crucial role in tackling that job as a host of the Education Forum here on Grts. And then also, my work with them has been very, 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 very productive, and it's been very, very cordial as well. I can say that because this is one ministry in the country that is responsible for education, and then they are also leading by example. I really have to put my hand on my heart and speak out that because I have been working with them and I've seen the kind of strides that they are making towards making education accessible to every Gambian, because they know that they're racing against time 2012 education for all, 2015 education for all, and they know they have barely 2-3 years to go. So they are putting in place, they have a lot of experts there who are putting in place a lot of things, and then they've been, viewers out there have been seeing those programs. They've been seeing programs on GRTs that really showed that the education department is definitely achieving a landmark in terms of access, in terms of quality, and then in terms of affordability, because we're talking about a lot of trust funds. And then when we talk about these trust funds, we're not only concentrating on girls. Girls, everybody know that there's this kind of a whole package that takes care of their education. And even boys, some boys are definitely benefiting from that. And then I would by no means let this opportunity slip by without narrating some of the most spectacular on-job experience that I had. First, I could remember that was a day when I was still in bed and my phone rang. and then it was who? It was an anonymous call. I was debating. This could be either DG or Balde, DG or Balde, DG or Balde. That's Director General or Balde. And then I mustered. The time that I mustered the courage to receive the call, I was in the same bed with Famara then. It was Balde. And then the moment he said, Jama, I knew something wrong must have happened somewhere. He said, where are you? I said, I'm still in bed, I'm sleeping. He said, well, DG just called me. He was asking who should go to Vice's office today, because that was a program. And I said, at what time? He said, 9 o'clock. I looked at my watch, it was 8:30. If you're looking out for backstory, you know what backstory is, what it takes to produce a news report. That was the single most important one. Yeah. I wish I had a camera to record everything, but then no time. I didn't really have time to record that. Then there was a friend who was sleeping, who came to visit me. He was a nurse. He came with his motorbike. I talked to him on his back. I said, boy, wake up, you really have to rescue me. He said, oh, okay, boy, let me go and have shower. I said, shower? I didn't have shower myself. And I'm going to the office of the vice president. He said, but at least I should wash my face and brush my teeth. I said, I didn't do that. I had to put my toothbrush, my toothpaste and brush right inside my bag. I said I could do that in the office of the vice president. Obviously, they have showers there. So I climbed up behind the motorbike, and we were rushing. And then in that rush hour, you know how it is sometimes in the morning, so frustrating. Traffic congestion is so frustrating. I was kind of instigated, boy, let's go, man. Christy, accelerate on. Now we came up to Westfield, and then you know sometimes how crazy the drivers could be. We had to hit one driver from the, and my boy wanted to complain. I said, boy, we don't have time for that. We don't have time for that, really. And the driver said, huh? I told my friend, please, let's forget him. Let's just rush. And then he brought me all the way to the gate. That was one experience. And another one, I was asked to cover this simulation, army simulation exercise. I still can't recall the island, but I know that was another spectacular moment in my life, because I did To me, I did a very fabulous stand-up, what we call pistol camera, at the seaport, expecting that I was going to have a very rosy day because I like cruise. I like being in the ocean. That vast Atlantic Ocean that was ahead of me. I was really, looking forward to having a very nice day. But then everything really turned around when we went very close to the island. What did I hear? Pom, pom. I was taken aback. I looked around. I said,